Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips and tricks that I use to save money and what I'm also using to help beat inflation. These are just my 5 tips and tricks. If you guys have any other tips and tricks that you are currently using, please drop them down in the comment box below. If you are new to my channel, my name is Janelle. I do all things budgeting. I also include work week lunches, grocery hauls, and meal planning. So if that is something that you're interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So like I said, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that we practice in our household, normally on a regular basis, but it's also coming in handy now with inflation being so high. So the first one is going to be room temperature. So what do I mean by that? Me and my husband work at least 10 hours a day, Monday through Friday. I am normally off on the weekends. And so with that being said, there is a huge time period where no one is in the house and the house does not need to be at 69 degrees. So we actually have our thermostat set to different temperatures throughout the day. So we started off at about 8 o'clock where the AC goes from 74 degrees to 78 degrees. And we actually have 2 ACs, one for upstairs and one for downstairs. The one upstairs stays at 77, 78 at all times because we really don't use it right now. Until baby girl goes up there, and then we'll be using it a lot more. But then downstairs stays at 78, and then around 4:30, 5 o'clock, it will go from 78 degrees to 76 degrees. So that is 2 degrees lower. And then around 5:30, 6:30, then around 6:30, 7 o'clock, it will then drop down to 74 degrees. And then we leave it there for a little bit, and then right before we start to really kind of get ready to go to bed, it will drop down around 8 o'clock. It will drop down from 74, 73 all the way down to 71, 70, just depending on how I feel for the day. And then it stays like that throughout the night. Now, the reason that we do that is, one, because we want to be able to save energy. We don't need to be having our AC at 64 degrees while we are not home. And then people will say, well, when I get home, it's going to be hot. Well, that is also the reason why we have our AC slowly start to go down in temperature, because you don't want to go from 78 straight to 71 degrees because your AC will actually never turn off. It will continue to run until it gets it to that temperature. And during that time frame, y'all, I live in the state of Texas, so anywhere between about 4 o'clock to 7:30, that is like the hottest time of the day. So you can imagine trying to cool down a home that may be super hot. You're not making the situation any better. And so I'm kind of happy that our living room and bedroom is on the back side. So as the sun is coming down, the sun does come on the other side, but our house stays pretty cool. And what I also do is I keep our fans on. Your fans are a lot cheaper to have on all day than your AC. So I do keep our fans on to circulate air. And I promise y'all, like, it feels really good by the time we get home, and I can keep my light bill pretty much under $120. And I say 120 because in August and like late July, y'all, it's like the hottest month ever. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You got to have the AC on 62 degrees sometimes. But for the most part, my light bill is not that high. So that is one thing that we practice all the time, but it is coming into play now with inflation, gas prices being high. And because in Texas in February of 2021, we had a storm freeze, they are trying to recoup their money back. So they have raised everyone's like fuel and gas and electric, like per kilowatts and things of that sort. So things are just naturally more expensive, even if you are using the same amount of energy that you're using in previous years. Number 2 is gas, right? So instead of filling up every time that I'm empty, I fill up every half a tank. So with my vehicle, for instance, on good times before gas prices started going up, I would spend about $45 a week in gas, and I drive back and forth about 60 to 65 miles a day. So that is really, really good. Well, now with inflation, I'm almost at around 80, 85 a week in gas if I'm doing it from start to finish or my vehicle becoming empty. Well, that is not feasible for my income. And so I realized that I needed to stay more focused and making sure that I am filling up my tank at half a tank and not when it is empty. And now I am able to still pay that same amount of money that I would on a weekly basis to fill up my tank, to still fill it up, but only half of the way. So for me, I can still sort of stay in my $200 budget range instead of paying $320 or $400 on gas. Now, I know that it may not work for everyone, but it does work for me. And it does kind of get annoying sometimes because I'm like, every Wednesday I have to go and fill up because I'm at a half a tank instead of just driving straight to work every day and filling up on a Saturday. So it is kind of annoying because I only go to a specific gas station to make sure that I can save money and things of that sort. But that is what I do, and it is working out for me whenever I do make sure that I stay disciplined and fill my tank up at a half a tank. So if y'all are not doing that, y'all should definitely try it and see how it works for you. Number 3 is shopping weekly and meal planning. Y'all, I can't say this enough. Meal planning has saved my life. Okay. I have a 4-month baby girl and things get busy, and I love that I meal prep because whenever I come home, I do not have to worry about cooking dinner. It's just like coming home, playing with her, talking to my husband, and then just kind of getting ready for bed, which is what we want to do instead of worrying about what we are going to eat. Now, first things first is shopping weekly. I believe that when I used to shop monthly or shopping bi-weekly, I would stock up on things and then things would get finished in the first 3 days and then we wouldn't have food for later. And I love that when you shop weekly, you're just buying what you need for that week. And you actually, to me, you actually buy less of those things because you're going to be like, oh, well, I just need a bag of chips and some nuts and I'll be good for the week because I'm going back to the grocery store in a couple of days. And I would see myself that I would actually spend a lot less money because I'm shopping weekly and only getting the things that I need. And then with meal planning, because I am thinking ahead and saying, hey, what are the things that I'm going to be cooking for this week? I then also in turn save money because I am preparing that food and having it ready. And then it's almost like having fast food, right? I just pop it in the microwave and we are good to go. So it does take, an hour or two out of your day, just depending on, how much of a meal prep you're doing. I cook 2 meals a week and then we have our snacks and then I make breakfast for myself in the morning. So my meal prep is a little bit simple. Right now, I just do the things that are easy to cook and try not to get too crazy or do anything too fancy. And, as time go by, if I want to dibble and dabble in different things, then I will. But I believe that right now with my meal planning and me shopping weekly, it has helped me reduce my grocery budget, especially since the groceries are so expensive right now. Just doing a weekly shop and giving yourself a $50, $60 like budget to kind of get everything, you kind of start looking at things and saying like, hey, do I really need this? Can we wait till next week? I do also believe that bulk buying is good if you're getting a good deal for it. I bulk buy with certain things like our toilet paper and paper towels. I want to say the last time I bought them we are in May, so I want to say maybe March, and we're still good. And I probably won't have to buy anything until about August. I bought Glad trash bags back in January before I had baby girl, and I still have trash bags, y'all. That's the same thing with my dishwashing liquid or dishwashing packs for my dishwasher. I still have a whole bunch of those as well too. So there are some things that you pay money for that might be expensive up front, but will last you for a very long time. This is also dependent, you guys, on your household. We are a household of 3 with baby girl really not digging into our wallets that much. Unless you're including a formula, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so I do believe that shopping weekly and meal planning is something that you can include in your daily lives to help with inflation. Number 4 is paying off debt. So I know this is really not like something that everybody can say they will do or they want to, but I do believe that during this time you can save so much money by paying off that debt and avoiding having your interest rates go up and paying extra money that you probably already don't have towards, interest rates. Think about, having an APR of $29.99 or let's just say $21.99, and you have a balance of $1,000. That's almost $20, $23 in a sense that you're paying extra towards a credit card where you could probably try and recoup that money to go towards other things such as gas and groceries where you probably want to be spending your money. So I think that paying debt off during this inflation, if you have the discipline and you can, to focus a little bit more on paying off debt, or if you don't have any debt, putting extra money towards savings. Normally in times like these, we head into a recession where things start to slow down, and you just kind of want to make sure that you have that extra money aside for any emergencies or any things of that sort. I don't have much really to talk about on paying off debt because in the budget community, we are always trying to pay off debt and save money. So I think that is something that we're always doing. It's not just during these times, but I also do believe it is also a good time to start doing it if you haven't already. And then lastly, my biggest thing is eating out less. Okay. So I actually just cut this out because we just don't need to do it. But I think during inflation, and things of that nature, that eating out less can help you save a lot of money. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy eating out without eating out. What we actually do is when I go to Sam's Club or I'm doing a grocery haul, I will pick up things that I can throw into my air fryer. So like we love shrimp, so I will get breaded shrimp. Hey, I still get to have a cheat day, but I don't have to spend the cheat day money. And so we'll throw that into the air fryer and boom, I have a meal that I can eat that really only cost me $5 and me and my husband can share it. Or if I'm feeling good, maybe on a Saturday, I will make nachos, which is a lot cheaper than maybe going to Chili's or someplace that is not carb friendly and eating out. Once again, that's maybe a $10 meal that maybe we would have spent $30 or $40 on. We can get like a low carb pizza and make that for ourselves. Once again, that's $12, and that is something cheaper than going out. Now, I'm not saying that you can't go out because we all still want to treat ourselves, go out and do different things, but you can do a lot less of it to avoid spending too much money or going over budget in eating out. Now, I know that eating out for some people is a whole different story. For us, it's not something that weighs heavily on me, as if you were to tell me to stop getting my nails done, because then I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not happening. So I definitely understand that, people have different needs and different wants, but these are the things that we use in our household to help out with this high inflation and saving money and getting things done, y'all. So let me know in the comments down below, what have you guys started or you've already been implementing in your household to save money or help with this high inflation to keep you afloat. I would love to hear about it. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.